Hi Taurus, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Nina and today we are doing your love predictions for this Taurus Venus transit. This is going to apply to Taurus Sun, Moon, Rising, and particularly Venus. So keep in mind that this is a general reading, so it might not apply to everyone, and that is okay. Take what resonates, leave the rest that doesn't. I hope that you are able to gain some insight out of this, and yeah, so let's just go ahead and get started. Like the video, give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, family, loved ones, or anyone else who needs to hear this. Comment down below, subscribe, hit the bell notification to know when I upload my videos. If you want to book a personal reading with me, you can do so at Sinfulpluto.com. If you want to find me on social media, you can do so on Twitter and Instagram at Sinfulpluto. The deck that I'm using will be linked down below if you want to go ahead and check it out. It's the This Might Hurt Tarot. I love it. It's my girl now. Let's go ahead and get started. So, Spirit, what is going on for Taurus in their love life? Bitch. Alright, let's, girl. Alright, the Six of Cups keeps on falling out. I'm barely even shuffling. So, there's something from the past that's coming up, or maybe you're holding on to something, or holding on to a past relationship, whether this person is present in your life or not. It seems as though like you're just dwelling in a certain relationship energy. You're just like clinging onto it for memory's sake, hoping and praying that maybe it'll get better, or that it'll be the way that you perceive the way it used to be. But with the Six of Cups reversed, because that's how it fell out, it's a fruitless sort of endeavor. And dwelling in the past isn't necessarily doesn't seem to be very helpful. So keep that in mind, Taurus, for whoever might need to hear that. All right, so Spirit, what's going on for Tauruses? Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus in their love life. All right, so we have the King of Swords. This could be you or another person. This talks about experience. A lot of wisdom from experience. This to me also talks about like having some sort of strategy, having a plan to do things. We have the Four of Swords reversed, which is overthinking. The King of Swords is also like Aquarius energy, so maybe this is another person in your life that you are dealing with, and maybe you're overthinking about them for whatever reason. We have the King of Wands. We have the Page of Pentacles, the Four of Wands reversed, Five of Wands reversed. Bottom of the deck is the Hanged Man, which talks about meditation, a moment of suspension, a new perspective, a new approach. Oh shit. Surrender. So needing to surrender to a situation. That's really interesting. Needing to surrender to a situation. I can see that. So Taurus, it seems as though you might be overthinking about some situation in your life, right? With this Four of Swords reversed, overthinking things, not getting, it feels as though you don't really have some sort of peace of mind for whatever reason that might be, whether this is in relation to you and another person, or if this is like a three-way sort of thing. Because I have the King, I have two kings here, right? So this is two individuals and then the Page, which if I'll be honest, it seems as though this could potentially be you, Taurus, signifying a little bit of inexperience, a little bit of like naive sort of energy. For some of you, it seems as though you thought that you could play between two people, or you thought you could go between, like back and forth between a King of Swords and a King of Wands, potential air sign and fire sign. And it kind of seems as though you got a little caught in the fire. And with this Four of Swords reversed, it seems as though you might be overthinking things, or not knowing what to do, not knowing what to approach, not knowing who to choose potentially, right? And it's leading to further disharmony with this Four of Wands reversed. It's leading to a sense of like instability in some way. and not instability in like in like a scary way, but things just feel kind of shaky. They feel wobbly. It doesn't feel as though there's a strong foundation for whatever reason it might be. It just seems like things are kind of either moving fast or things are either moving fast and there hasn't been enough time to build a strong foundation with either of these people, or things are just feeling shaky in some sort of way. It's almost as though this is saying to tread lightly for whatever reason this is. And we have the King of Swords, right? So this is someone very analytical, someone who is very like moral, ethical, they have very strong values, and maybe this is what attracts you to this person, is that they have such strong values, they have a lot of wisdom, they have a lot of experience, or they come off that way, right? And maybe that's something that you enjoy because maybe you feel that you can learn from them, right? We have the Page of Pentacles, which to me talks about your desire for stability, your desire for something very comfortable, for something very secure, right? Obviously, you are an earth sign. Pentacles is earth, it's stability, it's security. It can even be career and recognition and status in some way. So it seems as though you desire a relationship, of course. Oh, I just saw a butterfly. Of course you desire, wait, that's not a butterfly, that was a cardinal. That was a red cardinal. I don't know if that means anything for you, but I just saw a red cardinal. I don't know what that means, but look it up if you want to. I don't know. So yes, that's what it seems like, right? But with the Page of Pentacles, this talks about a lack of experience. So maybe this is your first relationship, or like just early relationship or something along those lines, or maybe it's just your first time like going back and forth between one person or the other. Whatever it is, I would say I get this feeling of, for you Taurus, of tread lightly. I don't know what this is supposed to mean for you, but it just seems that for some of you, you might be trying to play a game that you were just not very experienced at, or you might not be experienced at, whether this means playing these two people, or whether this means like trying to get the best of both worlds from these two people and not have to like make a decision. But it just seems as though you're trying to play both sides in some way, trying to have the best of both worlds in some way. And it seems as though it's stressing you out, because I have the Four of Swords reversed. This to me feels like paranoia. It just feels like very paranoid. Like it's almost like you have your eye, like one eye open and the other eye shut while you're trying to sleep, and you have like the little dagger right here, just like ready to fight, like ready to go on defense mode. So there's just a level of stress about this. Maybe you fear that these people are like going to find out about each other, or there's just this fear of like conflict coming up. And we have the Five of Wands reverse, which talks about that conflict. And this is you kind of trying to just like sidestep like this conflict, wanting to avoid any sort of confrontation. It could be that you're, being like kind of like just sidestepping everything, not really being all that direct, just being kind of passive and just like walking like a crab, just like sidestepping everything, walking side to side rather than being very direct. So that might get you, a little bit in trouble, Taurus. That's so interesting. But yeah, so that's kind of like what it seems like, is you like trying to play both parts. And then we have the King of Wands here, right, which is the life of the party. Could potentially be a fire sign, although it doesn't have to be. With the King of Wands, this basically talks about the life of the party. Like I said, this is someone who's very charismatic. Everyone loves this person. Everyone loves to be around them. This is just a good vibes kind of person. And with the King of Wands as well, this is also someone who has a lot of experience. And this reminds me of, for some reason, I'm getting like businessman, business person. This reminds me of like that really fun, cool boss, like very young boss, like he gets shit done. He's very productive and very like, very, not strict, but like this is the type of boss who like gets their shit done, but he has a good time while doing it. It's always a fun environment while getting the work done. It's not a very like, standoffish, stressful sort of environment with this person. It's just like he's about his shit, but like he does it in a fun way. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what that seems like. And whether this is like a decision on what to do. It just seems, you know, it could also be that maybe someone is the King of Swords, or you are the King of Swords, or someone else is the King of Wands, or you are the King of Wands. So maybe for some of you, this is just like between you and another person, just like, you know, just two people in general. And maybe you are trying to portray that you are the King of Swords, someone who is very ethical, you know, very much based on values, beliefs. Maybe you are trying to make it seem as though you have a lot of experience, or maybe you do have some form of experience in relationships in some way, right? Maybe you're very analytical, maybe trying to come off as very analytical, very intelligent, very intellectual, you know, always kind of creating a plan, whatever the case is, right? And then with a Page of Pentacles right under it, it could be that on the outside you portray yourself as the King of Swords, but on the inside maybe you feel as at like the Page of Pentacles, you know, a little like inexperienced, but also excited and ready to follow with this new endeavor of like this new relationship, or with whatever like dynamic that you're in, you know. So let's get oh god. All right, so we have the Hanged Man, we have the Star, Aquarius energy, we have the Hierophant reverse. So to me it reads as though you really love the attention. You love the attention, Taurus. With the Star card, you love the attention. And with the Hierophant reverse, it doesn't seem as though you want to commit to either person. You just like what they can offer you, whether it's intelligence or whether it's a good time. You know, it seems as though with this King of Swords, you go to this person for intellectual conversation, or perhaps even for advice. You know, maybe they help you with your homework in some way. I don't fucking know. But this person teaches you a lot about like intellectual things. Like you can have a deep conversation with this person, and maybe that's what attracts you to them. And with the King of Wands, maybe you go to them just to have a good time, to like go out to the club, you know, have a lot of passionate, you know, like hookups or something, you know, like it's always an adventure with this King of Swords, right? And it's you want to have, it seems as though you want to have the best of both worlds, and you don't really want to make a decision because, you know, they offer distinctly different things, but it's two different things that you enjoy. That is so funny. Okay, so yes, that's kind of what it seems like. You love the attention, Taurus, but you don't want to commit to them. You don't want to feel restricted, right? And with the Hanged Man, this is a moment of suspension, but like not suspension as in like suspense, but like, you know, being suspended, right? That's so crazy. So it's almost as though you're trying to delay making any sort of decision as long as you can. It's so funny. Yeah, dude, that's so crazy. That's just so funny to me. So that's really what it seems like. But be careful of biting off more than you can chew, Taurus. That's really what I can tell you here, because I have that Five of Wands reversed, and that's, you know, just be mindful with this Five of Swords, or am I saying Five of Swords? I mean Five of Wands reversed, my bad. This is this is a decision that you're going to have to make. You know, there are just some things that, you know, can just be inevitable, and at one point or another, you know, you might have to choose, and it's entirely up to you what to do about the situation, darling. So I guess we can pull for advice. So what advice can we give Taurus, Spirit? What advice does Taurus need for the situation? Ooh. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Wheel of Fortune reversed. We have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed. We have the Ace of Swords reversed. We have the Two of Pentacles. We have a decision. Yo, that's crazy. All right, so a decision clearly has to be made here. Or at least like learning how to balance your time. With the Two of Pentacles, it's saying that right now, yeah, like right now, you are able to juggle between these two people, between these two situations. That's what it seems like. you have that ability and you have been doing it very well, but it might get overwhelming when you least expect it. So be mindful of that, and be mindful of, or just kind of create an awareness of who are you willing to cut off? Who are you willing to, I don't know, like, do you have a willingness to cut someone off, or do you truly just not want to make a decision on anyone? The Ace of Pentacles reversed, to me, this talks about how this sort of like endeavor, this sort of project, whatever, it might be a little fruitless, I guess you could say. It's almost as though you're like losing your pentacle with the Page of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. So this to me kind of says be mindful of getting so caught up between juggling that you end up losing one person, or you end up kind of just like self-sabotaging yourself in some way, because that's also what the Ace of Swords reversed is talking about here. Is like, be careful of self-sabotaging, right? And for some of you, it could also be that maybe you're already in a romantic relationship with someone. Maybe this is the King of Swords, right? Maybe some of you are already in a relationship with the King of Swords or with the King of Wands, whatever it is, right? Whoever it is, right? And in this case, I'm just going to say King of Swords. But let's say you're in a relationship with this King of Swords already, right? You have a lot of really great intellectual conversations. You learn a lot from them. You see them as a very wise person. You admire them. You respect them, right? But maybe that's not enough for you. Maybe you feel as though you lack passion, excitement, adrenaline, you know, a good time in that sort of way, right? And maybe that's why you find yourself seeking that out in other people. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you become physically or intimately involved with this person, but there's clearly something there. You know what I'm saying? So it just seems as though, you know, be careful of self-sabotaging something that is really good for like the temporary fulfillment of having a good time, for example. So, you know, that's just kind of something to be aware of. And if you're just truly not satisfied within this relationship, if you feel as though the intellectualism is just not enough for you, if it's just not cutting it out anymore, that's completely okay, you know? But, you know, it's also not fair to leave this person on when you might have a little bit of a lingering eye. And again, like, it's okay if you feel a little bit dissatisfied within your relationship. It happens, you know, we all have different desires, and sometimes people find it challenging to fulfill them in some way, or they just simply fail to fulfill them in some way. And like, that happens. We're all humans, right? We evolve, we develop different needs, we develop different things that we desire. So that's kind of like, you know, like, I understand where you're coming from, Taurus. But I would say to be careful of overestimating yourselves and getting a little bit in and over your, wait, what is the phrase? Getting a little in and over your head. Is that the phrase? I don't know. Getting a little in over your head. Because you potentially might end up losing both of these people and kind of with like nothing. Or you kind of just, it just doesn't, missing out on something really great is what it seems like, right? And then Ace of Swords reversed, self-sabotage. And then Two of Pentacles, like, a decision has to be made eventually, because you can only juggle something for so long, you know what I'm saying, before you become overwhelmed and before it just starts to catch up to you. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Taurus. I hope this resonates. I hope it was helpful for you in some way, and I'll talk to you later.